everybody, welcome to a new video. My name is Midway and today we're going to be doing a little bit of a discussion of what are the best souls to upgrade as an archer, together with an event which we have going on right now, which is the Soul Rush event, right? I'm going to be going over on a little bit of a tangent, covering what I think about the state of the game nowadays, since I am in probably the biggest server there is on EU, and as you can see, it's the first day of the Rush event, and we are already required almost 300,000 soul points, or whatever you call that, soul dust, to be ranking high up there, right? So if you are a long-term player just like I am, the game is kind of in a state which is interesting to say the least. There is also a big announcement. If you are a fan of Legend of Mushroom, there is a new game coming from the creators of Legend of Mushroom, which will be dropping in basically like 2 or 3 weeks, something like that. It's going to be dropping throughout the later half of October, right? So I'll have a little bit more information about that. But now let's get into the video. So first of all, let's just go ahead and see where we are at, right? So we got our soul system here as an archer. I've covered it plenty of times in the guides and such, but let's just really quickly assess what's going on, right? So we saw we needed like 275,000 soul points or soul dust to be able to rank first in this Soul Rush at the moment in my server. And by the way, I am in, what is it, the server that I'm in is Amen 1, right? So it's the biggest, most clumped up server there is on EU, right? It started on Amen 61, and after all these years at this point, over a year and a half playing, the game has gotten me to the peak of the peak, like the biggest, most merged server there is, right? I'm in one of the oldest servers there's ever been, right? So I'm together with like some of the biggest whales there is in the game, or at least some of the biggest long-term players that remain in the server. Of course, there will be other bigger whales elsewhere. I'm not sure who is the top player at the moment. If you are, by the way, let me know. But in any case, in order to be able to get yourself a little bit of those Skyrider passes, if you are a free-to-play player, if you are in these big servers after all the merges, it is pretty much impossible to do so, right? So I'm trying to get myself some of the later released artifacts. In this case, we got the mount and the back attachments, which I would like to have both of those. Just to be able to unlock them, you are going to be needing to place yourself pretty decently in some of the better placements in the Rush events, right? So getting yourself a couple of those Skyrider passes is going to be taking you to at least place, what is it, top 20? At least just to be able to get to make sure to get a few of these, right? So I want to be making sure I'm at least in top 20. What is that going to be taking me at this point in the game? I mean, top 20, it is probably going to be decently easy, but again, the event just started, right? It's going to be taking the entire week for people to log in and dump all their soul dust, and of course, people are going to be dumping some money into it, right? So it is really damn hard to make sure you're getting some of these Skyrider passes as a free-to-play player in such big servers or long-standing servers for the most part, right? So let's just go back to the subject of the souls, right? So I do have a decent amount of soul dust. As you can see, I do have myself 215,000, and I still do have a lot of gems, which I am going to be trying to use here. I have 700,000 gems, totally free to play, by the way, that I can go ahead and use to try and get myself a few more soul dust points. Although I do not really recommend doing this, you would probably be better off using those gems on what do you call it, like skill rush or summon rush events for your pals. All of those events are easier to participate in, and with all those tickets, you're going to be getting a lot of extra summons. Anyways, what is the best stuff to be upgrading as an archer, right? So you pretty much get a bit of an idea looking at what I already have over here, right? So the best node, I'm going to call it, or rather soul here as an archer, is always going to be your combo damage plus boss damage being soul. The combo damage is going to be the bread and butter for us archers, and scaling both of these things, both of those are useful. So this one will be the one you always want to be fusing first, as well as just upgrading it the most, right? So following along this same sort of path, you can see another one that is pretty much self-explanatory, but maybe not that obvious, and that is going to be to scale your crit damage bonus through this soul, right? Even though we don't really care much about the skill crit damage, we definitely really value the crit damage bonus. Now, scaling up your crit damage is going to be what takes your damage to the next level, right? Scaling your overall attack percentage is nice, your combo damage is nice, but the crit damage bonus is really where it's at, right? So once you have the other node where both of the bonuses you get are useful, on this one you really only care about the crit damage bonus, but it is still a massive upgrade to be upgrading this one, right? That's why I do have this one to be the second one that I'm upgrading the most. Now next up is all about defenses, right? So we do have global HP, always useful, and a lot more useful than global defense. That's why I got it myself at level 43, and then we got a little bit of HP regen bonus, which by the way, scaling up your regens all the way out throughout your talents and basically your entire build is always a very good idea for just self-sustained, so that's why this node is also insanely good. And then finally we do have the global attack percent increase, again, just another very good way of getting flat extra damage, as well as the healing rate. So both of these nodes again are good, right? Even though we don't really value that much the healing rate, I mean we do, but obviously we want to be getting more offense as an archer. It's still very useful as both of these bonuses are valuable by themselves. Now all the other ones, as you can see, they're not as important because, well, we don't really care much about global defense. The way defense works in this game is not as powerful as just having more HP, because of the fact that the way that the healing scales with your total max HP, right? So the defense really not as valuable. That's why we're keeping it a little bit lower. We can put some points into it, but not really caring too much about it. Then we do have the basic attack damage, which is of course a little bit more damage. We're going to be doing a lot of basic attacks with all that attack speed, but we don't really get most of our damage from it. We just get it from the combos and scaling that crit combo damage to the crit damage bonus, right? So the basic attack damage, not that great, especially together with the skill damage. Yeah, we don't really care much about that. Then we have the crit resistance bonus, it's alright, more defensiveness, and all the PAL stuff, we don't care at all about it. And finally we do have this one where it's just counter damage, we don't care, PAL damage, we do not care, right? So that is why we have all these three, or rather four nodes, which are kind of whatever. We can put some points into some of those, but for the most part it's going to be all into the ones we already talked about, right? So let's do a little bit of upgrading here. As you can see, it's decently expensive to put any points into this game at this point, so we're going to be leveling some stuff up. I think I'm going to be putting all this stuff to level 50, as we can definitely afford to do so, as these two are going to be giving me the best upgrades. Now I can get myself a little bit of extra damage here on this global attack, so I'm going to be putting some more points into this one, as well as getting that global HP and HP regen bonus leveled up a little bit more, right? So we're going to be getting those two as high as possible together, so we probably can get 50 on both. I'm assuming we can. Maybe it's going to be a little bit tight. We can get 50 on this one, and finally 50 on this one, and that's going to be just about it, right? So let's see what else we can do, right? So we do have a lot of gems in our pocket, and if we go ahead and buy all this stuff, it's going to be taking a little while. But eventually we're going to be running all through our gems, right? So let's see how many more points we can accumulate after we just burn through all the gems. Freeze! Download Legend of Mushroom through Aptoide right now and enjoy bonuses of up to 35%. As you accumulate these bonuses, you'll be able to use them to buy things for you instead of actually using your real money like we are showing right here. All you need to do is go to Google and search for Aptoide, click on the first link that appears and download it. As you download Aptoide, it will install in your device. Once it is installed, go ahead and search for it in your device, and then within it go ahead and search for Legend of Mushroom. Go ahead and click on Legend of Mushroom within Aptoide and download it and install it in your device. Then head on over to Google Play and search for Appcoins wallet and download it and open it up. Here in the Aptoide wallet you will be able to see your current balance, as well as input my promo code Midway, which will get you an extra 5% bonus whenever buying anything in Legend of Mushroom. There is a guide down in the description, and the code is also down here on the screen as well as in the description, so go ahead and get it now and start earning more value for your money. So we did manage to get ourselves to 41,000 soul dust, so that puts us together at like a total of 260,000-70,000 somewhere. I don't think I'm gonna be getting top 1, but in any case I can get a few more levels here and there, right? So first of all, of course, gonna be getting a little bit more combo damage, and then I'm gonna be getting myself a little bit more crit damage, and I can put some more levels here and there, right? So since I do want to get 2 more upgrades if possible, I think I can only really do that if I go for some of the lower levels, right? These ones I would only be able to get 1 more level, right? So I'm going to be putting 1 over here, and rather I'm going to be spreading everything a little bit here and there, right? So I'm guessing I'm going to be getting a little bit of extra basic attack damage, not bad whatsoever. I mean, yeah, we already covered all that stuff, right? It's not the best, but it's not bad either. We got a little bit of everything here, which is not going to be the end of the world world if we do get a little bit more basic attack damage, a little bit more crit vest, and finally I think that's gonna be just about it, right? So we spread our points a little bit on the lower notes, which we don't really care that much about, but at this point we got a lot of upgrades. We got ourselves some power, and definitely is gonna be allowing us to get some more levels in there on the campaign. Let's see what we end up here in the Soul Rush, right? So we are probably going to be like ranked number 2. There we go. Number 2, actually not even getting to 260,000, but I'm pretty sure I am going to at least be able to get myself a few Skyrider passes out of this event, even though for sure people are going to be wailing it out and dropping a lot of their accumulated points on it, as they always do in these basic or rather massive accumulated servers right after all the server merges. I am still going to be safe and sound and being able to be getting a few of those Skyrider passes, which I'll then in turn be able to turn eventually into some free-to-play artifacts, mounts, or whatever. So while we are clearing some PvE levels, I want to be touching a little bit on the new game that's coming out from the creators of Legend of Mushroom. It's called Legends of Elements, and I've seen a little bit of footage, and if you also might know, there was another game released by the developers of Legend of Mushroom not that long ago called Mon Made Masters. Now, Mon Made Masters was a little bit of a dud for me, although it's still playable and going strong on its own community. I'm not really covering it anymore. However, Legends of Elements seems to be pretty similar to Mon Made Master. It kind of combines all the elements from Legend of Mushroom into a new sort of game, which is just a little bit similar aesthetically, but not exactly the same. Anyways, you can expect to see some more content from that game eventually. Maybe not more, maybe just some content in general whenever it comes around. And hopefully it's nice and cool, and it's something that I can also put out in the channel. Anyways, guys, hopefully you enjoyed the video. Now, I am probably going to be doing some more content on regarding guides and stuff like that. It's been a little while since I did any guide content about archers in particular. Now, it's obvious I don't really play this game every single day. As you can see, my power is kind of stale, and a lot of you have commented that I don't really progress that much in power, and I do fall a little bit behind. That is true. I do not put any money into this game, and I do not actually just play it every day, right? So, of course, I've played this game a whole lot, and at this point, I think I've gotten to the point where I've done everything I like into it. I kind of just cover it for the news and sometimes just a little bit of fun, right? It's a game that I've played, I think, long enough. Anyways, I'm not quitting Legend of Mushroom anytime soon. If I do find something interesting or just have a little bit of time and I do want to come up with another guide, that's probably what I will do, right? So expect some of that and some stuff about the new game from the creators of Legend of Mushroom coming soon enough. In any case, I'll see you guys soon in another video. Please go ahead and check out Aptoide if I haven't done so yet. It's definitely going to be helping me out a whole lot. And of course, it would always be also be helping you. It's going to be up for 10 uses per my, so my code is going to be able to be used 10 times instead of 5 for the next 2 months. So if you are an Aptoide user, you're going to be getting a few more juices out of my code for a little while, right? So go ahead and make sure you're using it, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye bye. See you, everybody.